morning. I'm Spot on Weather meteorologist Matthew Euler, and today we're going to be looking at the upcoming weather forecast. And I titled today's presentation Seasonable Fall Weather. The weather will be fairly seasonable for this time of year, and then I'll talk a little bit more down the road in the long range in today's video. And look at this picture of pumpkins. Of course, it's that time of year where we start to think of all things pumpkin. And I know there's a lot of folks out there that have outdoor plans or activities during the fall season. Maybe you want to go to get some hay rack rides on a local farm, or you're looking at maybe going through a corn maze or having fun activities with your kids if you have kids. So there's a lot of outdoor type activities in the fall that everyone looks forward to going to have fun and do. So let's go ahead and take a look at the forecast, what lies ahead. I'm starting things off with the maps of precipitation, the average percent of average precipitation and temperature departures in degrees Celsius over the past 30 days. And the source of this data is NOAA. The data ended basically 5 October. And the image on the left shows the percent of average precip. And anywhere where you see the green shadings, that is indicating 150 to up to 800% above normal. So well above normal precipitation in the green areas. The brown areas indicate well below normal precipitation. So you see the area from the Gulf of Mexico, the Gulf Coast states, all the way up into New England. Basically, the eastern United States has been below normal in precipitation over the past 30 days. The image on the right showing temperature departures in degrees Celsius, and you see the orange shading and the red shadings. Those indicate above normal temperatures. 4 degrees Celsius above normal is the brightest red coloring from the Ohio River Valley back to southern Missouri, southern Illinois, Arkansas, into parts of Oklahoma and northeastern Texas, all the way down through parts of Mississippi, Alabama, western Virginia, western North and South Carolina, basically into northern Georgia. So it's been above normal and drier than normal across the eastern U.S. the past 30 days. On the other hand, take a look at the blue shading. That's pretty much situated up over the Pacific Northwest into the northern plains, into Montana. So we have cooler than normal temperatures across the northwestern U.S. But for the most part, the U.S. as a whole has been above normal the past 30 days. Starting off today now, as we turn to the current conditions, looking at the visible satellite image as well as some of the local area temperatures and station plot data for 9 a.m. Eastern Daylight Time this morning on the 10th of October 2019. We do have a lot of low clouds. Those stubborn low clouds are still hanging in there for this morning. I know getting up this morning at around, earlier this morning prior to sunrise, there was almost like a gentle mist falling. It was wet enough to wetten up the pavement, and also gave us about 8/100ths of an inch of rain in the past 24 hours. Some of these light rain showers and this drizzle. But we do have the low clouds hanging in there on the backside of an area of low pressure, which is located off the east coast out over the open waters of the western Atlantic. But we still have those low clouds as of right now. If you look at the image on the right, the graphic on the right, showing the general northerly wind flow in the area, generally winds are ranging from 10 to 15 miles per hour from the north. We have dew point temperatures slightly lower than 24 hours ago in the upper 50s along the coast. Norfolk has a 57-degree dew point. Franklin has a 56-degree dew point. And out of Wakefield, they're down a 52-degree dew point further away from the water. The temperatures this morning are generally in the upper 50s to lower 60s across the area. So it's definitely feeling chilly and much like fall out there with these stratiform clouds just hanging on, producing that dull, gray, dreary appearance for a third day now. But keep in mind, I'm going to show you what's going to happen here. Let's move ahead to after I look at the analysis, we're going to move ahead to the forecast. The current analysis this morning on the synoptic scale shows a 998 millibar low, fairly intense over the western Atlantic Ocean with very strong northerly winds on its backside all the way out over the waters off the east coast. And there is a lot of heavier rain to the north of the low pressure center just off the coast of southeast Massachusetts. Generally in the United States as a whole, we have 1,041 high pressure systems situated over western Montana, which is fairly strong for this time of year. That's indicative of some very cold and dense air, 1041 millibar high. And we also have 1,002 millibar low, which is situated over Kansas. Scattered rain showers extending from eastern Oklahoma up through eastern Kansas into Missouri and parts of southern Iowa and eastern Nebraska. And on the back side of this low pressure area, the blue shading indicates snowfall, and it's snowing pretty good early this morning across the Dakotas, western North Dakota, western South Dakota, into southeast Wyoming, and to northwestern Nebraska. And so that generally shows what's happening synoptically across the United States. The image on the right shows locally here in southeast Virginia what the atmospheric sounding looks like this morning. The red line again indicates air temperature. The green line indicates dew point. The closer these two are together, basically that means the more saturated the atmosphere is. So as you can see, the red and green line pretty much are touching each other from the surface up to about 5,000 feet above the surface. And so that's why we're having this layer of low clouds. The atmosphere is very saturated in the lower levels between the surface, where the ground where we live at, up to 5,000 feet. But then once you get above 5,000 feet, if you were to go into a balloon, a hot air balloon right now, and ascend in the atmosphere above 5,000 feet, you would notice some clearing above this low level cloud deck. And so you see how the green line and the red line spread farther apart, above 800 millibars, basically above 5,000 feet. The atmosphere does dry out considerably. So I would expect that once we get some mixing to really turn up the atmosphere, we will expect some partly sunny skies. These clouds will eventually break up and erode away. Generally, that's what it's looking like today on the sounding here locally in southeast Virginia. We do have some drier northwesterly winds aloft as well on the sounding. So now let's go ahead and look at the forecast segment. The forecast valid for tomorrow, Friday, the 11th of October, 2019. We have that 997 millibar low, very stubborn to move away, situated around the same location tomorrow over the western Atlantic. A lot of wind, a lot of rain wrapping around that particular low pressure area, but all those effects remain offshore, so we're not expecting any major impacts across southeast Virginia, and it'll continue to move further away from the coast over time. There is the 999 millibar low has now accelerated to the north-northeast, north of the U.S.-Canadian border, north of the state of Minnesota. There's some snow on its backside over in the northern plains tomorrow into the Dakotas, eastern North and eastern South Dakota. Very cold pocket of air. Thickness values up in the South Dakota, northeastern Nebraska, northwestern Iowa area at 528 decameters. Very cold. There's 1,032 millibar high over southern Montana tomorrow. We do have that front, there's a cold front that extends from that area of low pressure over just north of the U.S.-Canadian border. There's a lot of rain that extends from Lake Superior down through Wisconsin, Illinois, into parts of Missouri, Arkansas, down into eastern Texas tomorrow. That's in association with an approaching cold front. Now that cold front will approach from the west. It's going to weaken over time, but it's going to be making its way towards the east. And this front will be in the area of southeast Virginia in the mid-Atlantic late Saturday night into early Sunday morning. Image on the right shows where your greatest height anomalies are located at 500 millibars or 18,000 feet. The blue shading indicates below normal heights. The peach color to the maroon red color indicates above normal heights. So for tomorrow, we have a big pocket of cold air and a shortwave trough that's really dipped down into the central U.S. You can see that blue shading pretty evident here on the chart. Moving on now to Saturday, the 12th of October, 2019. For southeast Virginia, we're expecting partly sunny skies, really not too bad. The area of low pressure continues, I'm laughing about it, but this low pressure area of the western Atlantic just continues to sit and spin, and it is weakening over time. 1,002 millibars well to the east of the Virginia coastline. Area of low pressure at 994 millibars is situated over northern Minnesota, with a cold frontal boundary extending now into western New York, western Pennsylvania by Saturday, into western West Virginia, down into eastern Tennessee. But you will notice the difference between the weather chart on the left, the image on the left, for tomorrow versus Saturday, the 12th of October. See how the rain that front is weakening as it moves east, the lifting is decreasing, and the shower activity is becoming less and less as this front moves off to the east. So you can see the image on the right where the coldest temperatures are, the lowest heights in the blue shading. The coldest temperatures, the lowest heights are associated with the colder upper level low situated over north central Minnesota by Saturday afternoon, the 12th of October. The blue shading shows again where the coolest temperatures are located as well as the lowest height anomalies. Moving ahead now to Sunday, the 13th of October, the cold front has now weakened significantly, and it is positioned basically from Georgia through South Carolina up through North Carolina into parts of Virginia. We have a high pressure system that's moved offshore at 1020 millibars. One thing you notice here by Sunday, we don't see an area of low pressure or a storm system no longer out over the western Atlantic. So finally, the atmosphere is going to start progressing its systems from west to east again. Generally, we got some scattered showers. If you're traveling on Sunday, scattered showers across the upper Midwest on Sunday, but dry for the most part across a lot of the country. For southeast Virginia on Sunday, we can expect some scattered showers, not expecting an all-day washout. So you'll still be good to get some outdoor plans in on Sunday. Simply that cold front is weakened. Eventually what it'll do is stall out along the North Carolina-Virginia border, and these showers will linger into Monday morning. Image on the right showing you again the height anomalies, the lower height anomalies in blue, the highest height anomalies in the peach shading. For the most part, a lot of the U.S. has got blue shading, so below normal temperatures, coolest temperatures are located associated with those blue shadings up over the upper Midwest. That's where the core of the coolest air will reside on Sunday. Moving ahead now to Monday, October 14th. Again, some of you may have this day off on the Columbus Day holiday for Columbus Day. We do see shower activity will linger into the morning across southeast Virginia on Monday, but then it will move off to the southeast out over the waters of the western Atlantic Ocean. Weak high pressure builds into the mid-Atlantic at 1,019 millibar high, and it's going to build in from the west. Not a very strong high, but enough to really dry things out and kind of push that frontal system out of here. On the right, we see the coolest temperatures and the lowest below normal height anomalies across the northern U.S., a couple areas of troughing that have developed, one across the southeastern Canada into New England, and another located back over Montana into the Rocky Mountain states, Wyoming and Idaho. Moving ahead to the 15th of October, next Tuesday, we have that high pressure 1020 millibar high situated right over the top of southeast Virginia, producing dry weather next Tuesday. There are some lingering showers to the south as that frontal boundary has just kind of stalled out down across parts of Mississippi, Alabama, Georgia. There is an area of low pressure and a new frontal boundary that's forming across the Midwest at this point in time. There's a 1,007 millibar low over far eastern Iowa with a cold front extending southwestward through parts of Missouri on down to Oklahoma. Some more scattered showers over the Midwest associated out ahead of that cold front by Tuesday the 15th. And there'll be some scattered showers up over the Dakotas and in northern Minnesota, which may mix in with some snow at times across the far northern plains. But again, not too bad for traveling if you're traveling across the United States on Tuesday. In southeast Virginia, it looks really great weather on Tuesday with that high pressure in control. And the image on the right showing you now where the troughs and ridges are, the highest and lowest heights again. The coolest temperatures are over the upper Midwest, northern plains, the Dakotas, Minnesota. And also there's another pocket of cooler temperatures across Maine, New Hampshire, Vermont, into New York State by next Tuesday. Moving now on to Wednesday the 16th of October. The next cold front is strengthening. We actually have a strengthening cold front now at this point. There's a 996 millibar low next Wednesday, the 16th of October, 996 millibar low over basically approaching Lake Huron, the area of Michigan there, just north of Detroit. And there's an area, there's a major frontal boundary, cold front, that extends southward from western New York State through parts of Pennsylvania into parts of western Virginia, into eastern Tennessee, all the way down to Alabama and Georgia. So there's going to be some rain that's going to occur across southeast Virginia by next Wednesday, the 16th of October, out ahead of this approaching front. Now this cold front's a little bit stronger than the one that's going to come through early Sunday morning. So we have a lot more vertical lifting motion out ahead of this front, and that is resulting in more rain. You can see on the right how the trough is digging out on Wednesday, the 16th of October. Those height contours are dipping down pretty good across the Indiana, Ohio area, trough axis extending all the way down through Kentucky, also into Tennessee. So that blue shading, you notice how the trough is digging up a little bit, digging out, and that's going to result in cooler temperatures and some rain next Wednesday, the 16th of October for southeast Virginia. All right, so here's the 7-day outlook graphic courtesy of Metro Weather Watch. For today, we're expecting these morning clouds, these low stratus clouds, the dull gray clouds, and some occasional showers, very light in the morning. But then we expect the sky to become partly sunny later this afternoon. High temperature of 70 degrees. Overnight lows tonight dropping into about 59 degrees to the upper 50s. Friday and Saturday look great. Get out and enjoy it. Friday looks like a really, really good fall day, partly sunny skies. High of 72, cannot beat that. That is really gorgeous weather there. And the overnight low dropping down to 61 degrees. Saturday, you notice how the temperatures do increase. They go back up to the upper 70s, high of 77 Saturday, as we are located out ahead of the next approaching cold front. The air mass warms out ahead of the front. Temperatures drop down to 63 Saturday night and Sunday morning. And then we do expect partly sunny skies, eventually becoming mostly cloudy with some PM showers later on Sunday as the weak cold front approaches the area. High of 73 on Sunday. And on Columbus Day, we will have some morning showers lingering across southeast Virginia and northeast North Carolina. But eventually, we expect the skies to become partly sunny during the afternoon on Columbus Day with a high of 76, slightly above normal for this time of year. And Tuesday, warmer, a little bit warmer, and remaining partly sunny. High of 77 on Tuesday, dropping to 63. And then by Wednesday, we expect the next strong cold front to move in, expecting mostly cloudy skies with showers with rain forming. High of 73 next Wednesday. So here is the actual charts for the 16th and 17th of October. And I just wanted to show you that as that stronger cold front advances towards the east around the evening of 16 October, next Wednesday evening, we can expect a lot of rainfall as this stronger cold front moves into the area, indicated by the green. And so we do expect chillier air to come down, filter in behind the strong cold front as well. So you can see what's going to happen here the 16th into the morning of the 17th. And we do expect that brief cool down on 17 and 18 October behind that frontal boundary. So you see the blue shadings, pretty significant trough that's developed across the eastern U.S., both the 17th and 18th. Blue shadings indicating those below normal height anomalies at 500 millibars or 18,000 feet, which is also associated with cooler temperatures. So we are expecting a brief cool down at 17 and 18 October, but then it's almost as if the atmosphere just flips a light switch, and you'll notice now we have that peachish color all over the eastern U.S. by the 20th, late next weekend, Sunday the 20th of October, and we have a dip in the jet stream, a trough that's developed across the western U.S. with the bluer shading now out in the western U.S. and that peach shading to the eastern U.S. We have a ridge that's going to basically expand northward from the western Atlantic off the coast of Florida. It's going to expand northward into parts of Virginia, West Virginia, Pennsylvania, New York State, all the way up into Michigan, while we have a deepening trough out west. So we expect the coolest temperatures to basically be from the west coast, Washington, Oregon, California, all the way over to just west of the Mississippi River. So if you're traveling going west of the Mississippi River, I would pack some cooler weather gear, some cooler clothes like sweatshirts or light windbreakers for sure. Make sure you pack some warm clothes. And the high pressure, the upper level high, the ridge builds in pretty good all the way through the period. So we're expecting above normal temperatures the 20th through the 26th of October. That's the way it looks at the present time. And here are some of the ensembles. This is an example of the GEFS ensemble forecasting system, GEFS. The long range, I have the 17th of October on the left, and then I have the 21st of October on the right. Notice how we go from the blue shading on the left-hand image that's the cooler temperatures on the 17th of October, and the image on the right shows that warm-up on the 21st of October. So there's a big switch, a big change in the pattern as we go from a trough to a ridge across the eastern U.S. Between the 17th and the 21st of October. Here's the European ensemble, a very similar agreement. Long range image on the left shows the 18th of October. You notice again that the blue shading is over the eastern United States, which indicates below normal temperatures, below normal heights. But then the image on the right shows upper level ridge building in on the European model, generally showing you the peachish colors and above normal heights and above normal temperatures by the 20th. And that's just the beginning of this pattern reversal by that point. Trough in the western U.S., ridge in the east. That's going to come back here in the long range, it appears. And when you have that kind of setup where we get the trough, a dip in the jet stream, or a trough in the western U.S. where it's cool and it's you got cool and unsettled weather out west and then warm and dry east, that runs in line pretty well with the projected Pacific North American forecast. You look at the PNA forecast, you see a negative trend of the PNA at the very bottom, on the left-hand side, very bottom image shows those blue bars below that black zero line, which indicates a negative PNA, negative values. And so that runs in line pretty well with our projected long-range forecast, the ensembles, as well as the other models we were looking at, with the warmth and dry conditions in the eastern U.S., cool and unsettled across the western U.S. with a negative Pacific North American pattern. So this is actually matching up very well. The Madden-Julian oscillation forecast, just want to show you what it's looking like lately. Generally, it's stalling out in phase 1. The Madden-Julian oscillation is stalling out in phase 1, not really making any other moves in any of the other phases. If you look at the composite, the temperature composite on the right, if you look at phase 1, there's yellow shading, kind of like a lighter yellow shading across the eastern U.S. That indicates above normal temperatures. The blue shading is out basically west of the Mississippi River across the western U.S. So again, just like the PNA pattern with a negative PNA forecast matching up with the long-range forecast, the Madden-Julian oscillation is also matching up. The temperature composites for phase 1 are matching up quite well with a warmer, drier east in the long range and a cooler, unsettled pattern in the western U.S. Here is an El Nino update. I haven't shown this for a little bit, but again, the source is from NOAA and the Climate Prediction Center is where I got these graphics. So the average sea surface temperature anomalies are on the left, running from 8 September through 5 October 2019. And then you have the actual departures from normal labeled there at the bottom, and you see the orange shading. We're looking at 1 to 2 degrees Celsius above normal across the eastern Pacific in temperatures. There's a couple pockets there at 2 to 3 degrees Celsius above normal across the eastern Pacific. So this is going to be interesting to see what happens in the longer range beyond the next 10 days, beyond the next 30. I'm curious to see what's going to happen with the upcoming winter, but with the above normal temperatures where they are in the eastern Pacific, if those were to last through the winter time, we could be looking at very interesting weather as far as the eastern U.S. That would favor more of a ridge setup across the eastern Pacific into western Canada and the west coast of the U.S. with a trough downstream into the eastern U.S. So we're going to keep a close eye on that. In general, the El Nino region, we have cooler than normal temperatures, water temperatures across the eastern equatorial Pacific. We have warmer than normal temperatures across the western equatorial Pacific. Look at the image on the graphic on the right. You'll notice this is the latest model predictions of El Nino southern oscillation. And you'll notice that the red, green, and blue lines are all pretty much between 0 and positive 0.5 degrees Celsius above normal sea surface temperature departures in the El Nino region. So right now, the latest update from the NOAA Climate Prediction Center is for a 55 to 60% chance of neutral ENSO conditions this winter, 75% chance this fall as we continue on through the fall. And there is the sea surface temperature departure forecast, ranging anywhere from 0, right to where it should be normal, to 0.5 degrees Celsius. So right in that area. So something to keep an eye on. This is for the sea surface temperature departure forecast for the El Nino 3.4 region, which is the main box that's utilized. All right, so here are my final thoughts on today's video. We're expecting mostly cloudy and chilly conditions, mainly this morning, okay? And then we're going to become partly sunny later this afternoon in southeast Virginia as drier air filters in from the north and northwest. We do expect that minor tidal flooding that definitely will be a threat today through Friday. Similar height values of the past couple days, 1.5 to 2.5 feet above normal at the high tidal cycles as we continue to have those strong north and northeast winds. Now, on the other side of this gloom, this gray gloom that we've experienced the last few days, we are in for some great weather. Perfect fall day is forecast tomorrow and Friday. Plenty of sun, high near 72 degrees, gorgeous, low humidity. You got to get out there and enjoy it if at all possible. If you have any outdoor activities, maybe after work tomorrow afternoon into the evening, get out and enjoy it. Warmer temperatures will return on Saturday, but it'll still remain dry. We do expect highs climbing above normal into the upper 70s. Normal high this time of year for the Hampton Road cities is 72 degrees Fahrenheit. So we're going to run about 5 to 10 degrees above normal for Saturday. We do expect periods of light showers to return on Sunday with some increase in clouds as that weak cold front crosses the area. That weak cold front then stalls out along the Virginia-North Carolina border Sunday and early Monday. Scattered showers along that frontal boundary will occur in southeast Virginia, northeast North Carolina, both Sunday, late Sunday, and early Monday morning. Now, we do have the longer range, that upper level trough that is forecast to dig into the eastern U.S. between the 16th and 18th of October. That's going to usher in some very chilly air. We can see highs across southeast Virginia in the middle to upper 60s with lows in the middle 50s. So it's definitely going to be chilly, and that's with sunshine. That's after the rain ends on the 16th and the 17th. We will still see highs in the middle to upper 60s. We do expect that period of rain possible as that strong cold front moves through around the 16th into the early morning of the 17th of October. And all long-range indicators point to above normal temperatures returning with an upper level ridge building in across the eastern U.S. from the 20th to 26th of October. This is, of course, subject to change as we're still 10 days out from these dates, 10 to 14 days out. But that's the way it looks as of right now. We expect cooler than normal temperatures to remain across the western U.S. With a trough position over the west, and that associated with a negative Pacific North American pattern where we get the trough in the west and a ridge in the east. So that really, all long-range indicators looking to above normal temperatures. Once we get that cool down 16 to 18 October, after that, we're going to warm up again. Here's where to find us on social media. I really hope you enjoy these presentations, these videos I make. Our passion is just really sharing the weather with you and helping you make appropriate plans based on the weather. And here's how to find us on Facebook, Instagram, Twitter. There's the website, Spot On Weather Weebly. If you need more weather updates in your neighborhood, subscribe to Spot On Weather for the most accurate weather forecasts. All right, that wraps things up today with the video. I hope you have a great Thursday, everybody. Hope you're getting out there, enjoying yourself. Take care, everybody, and we'll make another video here soon. Take care and enjoy that weather coming up.